Hello, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Raya and I make videos on conscious living from sustainability to personal growth and social good. And today I want to talk about something that has been in the front of my mind for a very long time, and a lot of people are thinking and talking about this finally, and that is the environmental impact of flying. Once you start reading the stats, the environmental effects of flying are terrifying, and here's a quote I got from an article. On an individual level, there is no other human activity that emits as much over a short period of time as aviation, because it is so energy intensive. If you want to learn more, I will link some articles down below, but despite all these facts, I actually don't think that the answer is for all of us to stop traveling altogether and to never get on a plane, because for a lot of us it's actually unavoidable, and I think travel is the best way that we can grow and open our minds and hearts to other people. For me, from all my travels, getting to meet people from all around the world, especially people who live so differently from me, who are not near where I was born or grew up, who have a very different lifestyle from mine. These are the interactions that have helped me grow the most as a person, and seeing people live differently from you, I think, is the best way that you can get out of your bubble, get out of your comfort zone, and learn about each other, and learn that the way you do things isn't the only way or necessarily the right way to do them. Honestly, this is why I made travel videos for so long on YouTube, because if I could inspire one person to leave their bubble, leave their comfort zone, and meet someone who lives so different from them and open their hearts to them, that makes such a big difference in their life and in the way that they interact with other people. However, I do have a list of questions that I ask myself that I want to share with you guys to make sure that I am flying as sustainable as possible. Hey guys, future Raya jumping in real quick as I'm editing this video, because I know this is a very controversial topic and I just want to make sure that I'm explaining myself properly. Basically, the best thing you could do for the planet in terms of sustainability is obviously to not fly at all, but unfortunately right now it's the only feasible option when it comes to long distance travel. And in my opinion, if people stopped traveling and going to different countries and interacting with people who look, speak, and live differently from them, then the world would be worse off overall. So definitely try to cut down how much you fly if you can. For me personally, I think I've cut down my flying in half this year from last year, and I'm doing my best to keep cutting down. But basically, I don't think the answer is for all of us to stop flying forever. I just think that there are better ways to do it and smarter ways that we could be a little bit more conscious. Okay, back to the video. The first question to ask yourself is, why am I going on this trip? And while everyone has their own reasons for travel, if you ask yourself this question, especially after learning all the facts about the negative effects of flying, you might find that there's some trips that you don't really need to go on or even want to go on. I've actually been asking myself this question a lot, and because of that, I've ended up turning down or canceling quite a few trips. And again, I don't know what your story is while you travel, but if you could just ask yourself this question first, you might find that there's some trips that you don't really need to go on. The second question to ask yourself is there another viable mode of transport? And I get it, a lot of times there isn't. If you're flying from California to Europe, it would take you weeks or months to get there driving or train and then boat. Obviously, a lot of times it doesn't make any sense. But if you're flying from San Francisco to LA, for example, you could take a train. And in fact, Louis and I ended up taking a train a few months ago. We had to go up to San Francisco for some meetings. We took a train and it was so much fun. I actually love taking trains. They're my favorite mode of transport, and we got to see the view. It was along the coastline the whole way. It was absolutely beautiful. So yeah, if there's a train or a bus that you could take, like if the flight's quite short, there might actually be another viable mode of transport. Or you could drive, but ideally you would be driving with a few other people in the car, and ideally it would be an electric or hybrid car. Again, this won't make sense if you're flying across the world, but if it's a short flight, then you might as well ask yourself this question. The next question to ask yourself is, can I fly direct? And I didn't even know this, but apparently for a 400-mile flight, 75% of the fuel gets used for takeoff and landing, which is crazy. So if you're doing a bunch of short flights to get somewhere, then that will obviously use a lot more fuel than if you just take one longer flight and then it's just one takeoff and landing. And when you're cruising, that's using much less fuel. The next question is another thing that I've been thinking about a lot, and that is, can I extend my trip? So if you're flying somewhere just for a few days, and then especially if you're like flying around that continent or whatever, the best thing you can do is actually just go to one destination, or at least travel around with train or something like within that destination. But if you're only going somewhere for a couple of days, you're not gonna get a real taste of the city or country that you're going to. So the best thing you can do is try to extend your trip. Maybe if you stay for 10 days, then you'll really get the taste of the culture, and it means that your flight was more worth it. The next question you can ask yourself is, am I checking a bag in? And obviously the more weight on a plane, the more fuel it will take to fly it. And I've seen people take bags that weigh pretty much as another human, which is crazy and obviously really adds up. If everyone is taking a bag that weighs as much as another human, that's like double the amount of passengers basically on that plane. But I've actually been traveling with carry-on only for as far back as I can remember, really. I traveled full-time for 4 years, where pretty much everything I owned was with me at all times, and it fit into a carry-on. So if I could do that, then you could definitely go on a few day or a week trip with carry-on only. I promise you, you don't need everything that you think you do, and the less weight that you can bring onto a plane, the more sustainable it will be. The next question to ask yourself is, am I flying business? And again, I didn't realize this, but flying business is 2 or 3 times as energy intensive as flying economy. I guess it makes sense because the amount of space that you would take up with your seat would be as if like there were 2 or 3 seats there. So if you could fly economy, not only would it be so much more sustainable, but obviously it's so much cheaper. I know that a lot of people watching this are probably like, I can never fly business anyway. I get it. Same. But if you are someone who flies business regularly, especially if you travel for work and companies fly you and they just automatically book you business flights, if you could please ask to sit in economy, it would be much, much better for the planet. And last but not least, make sure to offset your flights. And I'm actually gonna make a whole video on offsetting flights. I know that it can be kind of confusing and a lot of people don't really know where to start. So make sure that you are subscribed to my channel and give this video a thumbs up if you wanna see that. I'll film that for you soon. But just to get started, I'm actually doing a fundraiser right now to plant 10,000 trees, which you can see under this video or to the left or to the right of this video. And one of the best ways to offset your flights is to plant trees, because when you fly, you release CO2 emissions into the air, and when you plant trees, those trees take away that CO2 from the air. So it makes sense. So if you have taken at least one flight in the last 5 years, go to the box down below to the One Tree Planted fundraiser and plant 5 trees, okay? We're just gonna start there. Obviously, a lot more goes into offsetting your flights, and like I said, I'll be filming a whole video about it. But just to get started, if you've taken at least one flight, make sure that you go donate $5, plant 5 trees, and already you will start making a difference. Alright guys, I hope that you found this video helpful, and like I said, I don't think the answer is for all of us to stop travel altogether. It's about asking better questions and being a bit more mindful and conscious when we do travel, and that goes beyond flying as well. So yeah, make sure you're subscribed. I'm gonna have a lot of videos around conscious and sustainable travel coming soon, and thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you very soon. Mwah. Bye!